Hello everyone, Lytro Storm here, and today we're going to be carrying forward with What If Vegeta Rebelled Early, Part 5. We're going to be moving into the future timeline with this series, so let me give you a recap of what happened last time. In Part 4 we wrapped up the Frieza saga, with most things staying the same, and introduced Raditz and Mai's children, Icarus and Letta. Nappa had died on Namek, so he learned the Kaioken from King Kai after deciding to stay there for a bit longer. Vegeta and Nappa both defeat King Cold and Mecha Frieza when they arrive, with Vegeta using Super Saiyan and Nappa using the Kaioken. And that's the recap, so let's go ahead and set a like goal of 200 likes to make Part 6 early. If you like this video, be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Less than half of the people who watch my content are subscribed, so it would really help if you did. As always, join my Discord and follow me on Twitter. Links in the description. It's been about 5 years since Goku defeated Frieza on Namek. By this point, he's been gone for a few months, and the Z-Fighters prepare to fight against a new threat, the androids. However, once they do, Piccolo still dies first like in canon. All the Z-Fighters go down until Raditz and Yajirobe are the only two left. The two try to make an escape, but they're cut off at every end by the two androids. However, Vegeta and Nappa seemingly came to the rescue. Both being stronger than each android, they quickly began battling it out. Although they had the edge at first, their attacks weren't quite strong enough to kill them, and eventually the drain of Super Saiyan got to them, leading to their deaths. However, instead of helping, the second Raditz saw the two land, he escaped with Yajirobe. Once they arrived at Raditz's home, Yajirobe was confused and angry at Raditz for just leaving like that. Throughout all of the Saiyan and Frieza sagas, Raditz had been there to instill courage into him, and yet he left the second he got a chance. What if they didn't win? What if Vegeta and Nappa died too? What if their help could have let them win? Raditz yelled at Yajirobe that was enough, and Mai stepped outside. She asked what had happened, and Raditz looked down to the ground, telling her he'd explain later, but Yajirobe told Mai immediately. She was scared by this, asking what they would do and if they could win. Raditz could only reply, "I don't know." He then told Yajirobe to go inside and keep the kids company as he headed to Chi-Chi's home. He told Chi-Chi and Gohan the news, and they were both extremely saddened by this. Just a few months ago, Goku had died, and now this is happening. Raditz kneels down to Gohan and tells him that now is the time when the world needs him most. He had been training on the side since Goku died, but now it was time to step up and make a commitment. Chi-Chi looked at Raditz in disbelief, but her son looked up at his uncle and told him that he was ready. Raditz stood up as Chi-Chi begged for Gohan not to do this, but her son agreed that he needed to do something. Once all of this was done, he could slow down again and figure out what he wants to do. Raditz apologizes to Chi-Chi and leaves. The Saiyan flew to Capsule Corp and told Bulma the situation as well, and that they will most likely need Trunks eventually. Bulma knows this may be true, but isn't too happy about it as it is her son. Raditz thanks her for understanding and flies back to his home, where he told his wife the same things. Their kids needed to be ready when the world needed them. And so, many years pass. Raditz and Yajirobe train Gohan up, and eventually the three of them train up the next generation, Trunks, Icarus, and Letta. Raditz here has decided not to go out and fight against the androids much unless they're close by or need to gauge their own strength. However, Gohan has been sneaking out to face them more and more as the years go on. He doesn't want to see any more people die, and so he goes out to make sure that it doesn't happen. Carrying on, over time Trunks has been taking Letta out more, making her see things she doesn't typically see, like the cities in ruins, and the sunset, and even the amusement park. Oh wait, Gohan and Trunks had to fight the androids at an amusement park once in canon, so I guess you might be able to see where I'm going with this. But anyway, the point of all this is to show Letta that there is something amazing they all need to fight for. The next sunset, or the kids who were forced into this world but didn't have power to take for granted like they did. Back at the amusement park, as Trunks and Letta are riding roller coasters and having fun together, being able to be their own age as teenagers, the roller coaster is stopped. Trunks goes Super Saiyan and immediately checks around them to make sure they're safe. and that's when he sees a figure fly in front of them. It was Icarus, Letta's brother. "You know you're not supposed to be out here," Icarus said. "Come on, Icarus, you're such a buzzkill," Letta said as she hopped off the ride. The three lowered themselves to the ground, and Trunks powered back down into his base form. "Besides, I can handle myself just fine." "And what if you can't someday?" her brother said. "It's best to listen to Dad and stay safe." Trunks agrees with this, but tells Icarus that they were planning on leaving soon anyway. Icarus responds that that's good, and he won't tell Dad so long as they get back now. Letta groans, but decides to go with the two back home. Icarus continues the conversation as they begin walking. "Look, I understand your guys' ideas. Our Uncle Goku and our father are heroes. But we can only be heroes like them if we survive long enough to win. Blah blah blah, you don't want to have fun, I get it, we can't all be like you." His sister responds. Trunks then adds into the conversation. "Hey, I'm agreeing with both of you, but we need to work together as a team no matter what we decide to do." Icarus then responds. "Let's just get home. I don't think working together is Letta's strong suit anyway." Letta was angered by this, but just stopped talking before she got too angry. But as they're leaving, they heard a voice behind them. "Going somewhere?" 3 different auras were charged up one after another, as the 2 familiar faces land in front of and behind the kids. The 3 got back to back to back in a formation that Raditz, Gohan, and Yajirobe had taught them. "You know, 18, they say pick on someone your own size, but with the 2 tall guys and the short tubby one, people like that are getting hard to come by." 18 laughed and agreed with her brother before saying that now was time to have fun. Icarus immediately charged at 18, hitting her with a flurry of punches and kicks that were taken with no damage or discomfort at all. She then swatted him away while the other 2 attacked 17. Of course, they do nothing as well, and 18 grabs Letta by her hair to pull her away from her brother. She casually tosses the girl to the ground and waits for her next move. 17, on the other hand, isn't as nice. He knees Trunks in the gut and then kicks him across the floor. Icarus gets up and kicks 17 in the face for that, but he barely moved his head in the other direction. He retaliated by hitting him with multiple punches and kicks, and then tosses him away once more. Letta is also being beaten by 18 just like everyone else is by 17. It was very clear the 3 of them were out of their league. A few minutes passed, and finally the 2 had decided to kill the children, who had now reverted to their base forms. However, a loud yell from far away was heard. Next, 17 was forced onto the ground by an orange blur. It was Gohan as a Super Saiyan. 18 saw this and began to say, well, but Gohan ignored her and fired a blast in her face while she was caught off guard. He then grabbed the 3 kids and flew off, but he was shot through the back by one of the androids, forcing him to fall onto the ground and drop all of them. Gohan lied on the ground, trying to get up, but he was shot down once more. He was right across from Letta as he began to lose strength, reverting into his base form. Gohan looked into Letta's eyes and told her that they need to leave now, but Letta couldn't get up, only keep staring as her brother grabbed her from behind and began flying away with Trunks. Gohan then closed his eyes and was killed by the 2 androids. Icarus landed them in an open field for them to rest and talk about what they were going to do. Letta sat on the ground, not saying anything, staring off into nothing, as if Gohan's eyes were still there. Icarus asked if Trunks was hurt, but he was alright for the most part. He said that they probably shouldn't stay for long though. "Gohan's gone," Letta says, "and it's my fault." Trunks told her not to blame herself, but she yelled that it really was her fault. If she had just not gone, it would have been fine, but she had to be a stupid kid like usual. Icarus told her that now was the time to grow up. She needs to, or this will continue to happen. No more slacking off on training to go out. She agreed, and the 3 went home. When they got there, Raditz hugged them, saying that he was glad they're back as they couldn't seem to find them anywhere. He then asked if they'd seen Gohan, and all of them became extremely nervous. Raditz says that he hasn't seen Gohan in a while, so he must have gone out to do something. And that's when the tone changes a ton. Icarus begins to talk, but Letta cuts in, yelling that it was her fault and breaking down in tears. Raditz's eyes widen as he asks what she means, and she can barely say what she's trying to say, but ultimately she does and hugs her father. He doesn't hug back though, stepping away and saying that they should have listened to him. He then also looks to Trunks, who had gone with her. Raditz forced her to let go and told all of them to go inside, as Mai, Shu, Pilaf, and Yajirobe all stepped out. Raditz tells them that it happened, as he has his palm over his face. "I'll be the one to do it," he says before walking off into the direction of Chi-Chi's house. Jump cut to the following day where Raditz asks Bulma how her project is going, and she says it'll be done in about 3 years' time. Raditz tells her the news, and now she is upset as well. That could have been Trunks' life, just as well as any of them. Bulma told Raditz that he needed to get a handle on them or she would take Trunks back and not let him train anymore. She silently walks off and turns, asking how Chi-Chi took it, and Raditz said that he doesn't blame her for being so insane all the time. She's lost everything by this point. Bulma's face turns more somber as she said, "Yeah." Raditz asked what's on her mind, and she just said that it was scary to think about losing it all. Raditz agreed, but said that he wouldn't let it happen. A few months later, and Raditz hears someone outside his house as he wakes up. Everyone else is asleep, and he checks his windows to get a better look, but when he peeps through, he's blasted through the walls of his house. He falls onto the ground, slowly getting up and looking forward. The androids were the ones, outside. By that point, everyone in the house had woken up, and Raditz told the kids in Yajirobe to take Mai, Shu, and Pilaf and get out. He then goes Super Saiyan, charging at both of them, and actually does well. However, his victories are short-lived when the two begin working together and easily demolish him. Everyone hadn't left yet, just flying above so that they could see. But when they see Raditz losing, Yajirobe yells out, "Not this time," and sets Pilaf down before charging into the battle with his sword. Yajirobe jumped onto 17's arm, kicking him in the face as he jumped off and sliced his sword at 18. He continued doing moves like this until they finally caught him. Raditz asks what he's doing, and his comrade says that he won't let him go down alone. Raditz gets back up and helps him fight off the androids, even passing the sword around similarly to Cap and Thor in Endgame. The two did extremely well, but ultimately their fate had been sealed. The two would die together, brothers. Mai was flown away screaming and crying as their home was destroyed, and with it, almost all hope of victory. All of them went back to Capsule Corp, and Trunks even went back to pick up Chi-Chi and the Ox King, as they didn't want them to die as well, considering how close their house was to Raditz's. Mai and her kids console each other, crying in each other's arms, as 3 years pass. Bulma's time machine is complete, and now it was time to use it. Icarus, Letta, and Trunks have all gotten a lot stronger. By this point, they've gained so much strength that they're almost able to take on the androids. The time machine may be done, but Icarus is somewhat against them changing history. I mean, in maybe a year they should be able to win, and he doesn't want to mess that up. Bulma, thinking that what they do here will affect the timeline, because that's what they thought back then, says that it'll make everything a lot better, and so he reluctantly agrees. She tells them that there's enough room for 2 of them to squeeze in. Icarus volunteers to stay, wanting to protect everyone here. The 3 of them ask each other if they're sure about this, which they are, and Trunks and Letta head into the past. And that's where we're going to end part 5 of this What If. I really hope you guys enjoyed this part, as I tried my best to flesh out all these characters and deepen their progression and stuff like that to make them seem like actual characters. This script is probably taking the longest that any script has taken in a while, so I really hope you guys appreciate my hard work. And if you want part 6 to come early, give this video a like to help it reach the 200 like goal. But as always, tell me if you like this part, tell me what you think will happen next, comment your requests for future videos, and subscribe. Thank you for watching, have a great day.